Hello, good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and today is on Monday. We are blessed to have this opportunity to continue with the conversation, just as we have always been having the conversation over here. Before we proceed, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome Miguda to say hi. Miguda.
Hello, everyone. This is Bro Benson Media. Here we say opinion counts. And we are here to ensure that we analyze politics and also spread the gospel of the good governance and reforms that we are anticipating as a country. Welcome everybody to the show.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I want us to just have a conversation, just like the topic there goes. Ruto and Kindiki rattled as Kalonzo challenges them once. He's planning to actually challenge the Mbeere North and Malava results. And not just that, there are so many conversations that we've had, we've seen coming from the deputy. I mean, from Rigathi Gachagua, who is coming out to say that they're in conversation that the Nairobi gubernatorial and the senatorial positions would be left for the DCP party. A comment that was challenged by Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, saying that that is not the stand and that they are all in the battle to find the right candidate. And I'm going to just come straight to that conversation, and I want you to give your take. I don't know whether my network is stable enough, because I can see a comment from Gypsy Corner saying I'm falling off. I don't know whether it's stable enough. Miguda, kindly confirm.
From my end, you are very stable. Falling, I think you are falling from your chair. You are falling down, then coming back. Or maybe if you can just confirm in the comment section. But from me, I can view you very clearly. I can hear you very clearly.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I'll just give you.
From my end, you are very stable. Maybe from the YouTube, but from the StreamYard, you are good.
Okay, thank you so much for that confirmation. I'd want us to just proceed, and I would want you to give your take on what you think about Kalonzo's statement on challenging the Mbeere North and Malava results. Remember, this is not the first time that we are seeing results being challenged. We are seeing, we've seen, remember, Raila did it not once, but several times. We've seen members of parliament, we've seen governors, senators, challenging the election results. And so the question I'm asking you tonight is, what is your view on Kalonzo's statement, and what is your general take on what happened in Mbeere and Malava by elections?
First, I would like to appreciate the fact that we never lost any lives, and after elections, even though before and during campaigns, we lost some individuals at Kasipul, but it is very okay to conclude by saying, after the results were declared, we have not lost any person. And that's what we were praying for, that before, during, and after, there should not be losing of lives because of elections. People should accept, no matter how the outcome is, we don't need to lose people and properties because elections are there after every 5 years. First, in the Kenyan context, elections are designed that they are being declared at polling stations and they are won at polling stations. For someone to be declared and winning at polling station, that's why you should put more of your effort. Even though people might put their efforts before and during campaigns to reach out the electorates, to campaign vigorously, to persuade the people, and also to sell your agenda to the public. But you should also be focusing on the polling station. Your agents, the IBC officials, you should be watchful for them not to be compromised. Personally, I believe that all these things, we should be doing them before declaration and before we are at the polling station. Whenever there is any electoral malpractices, or if we can foresee a future malpractices, even in 2027, we should start dealing with it right now. Because, right, like in Mbeere, they are going to challenge elections. But remember, tomorrow, Wamudende is going to be sworn in as a member of parliament in the August House. So even if you go to petition, many events has been overtaken by times. First, he has been declared. Secondly, he has been sworn in. Thirdly, he has been granted all the necessaries for the member of parliament. Maybe he has been given grant 7 million for the car. He has been oriented and many privileges and insurance and so on and so forth. So for you to reverse that decision in the court of law, it is quite time consuming in my view. And though you should seek for your rights in the court, but according to me, as a political scientist students, we should focus before and during. After might not yield much fruit. I'm speaking so because you understand that in this country, we have had similar cases, just the way you have correctly cited the case of Raila Odinga, that Kenyans had opportunity to do any reforms necessary before. But until the declaration is done, that's when we are going for the electoral justice, left, right, and center. In my view, people or the likes of Kalonzo, the United Opposition, right now, they should focus on the major pressing reforms of the IBC before 2027 elections. We don't want a scenario whereby people focus after declaration, because after, like I've told you, many events could have taken place, and even reversing them might not, because maybe if you declare election null, void, and invalid, the mayor of parliament has already been granted everything, and you go back to elections, and they won again. So sometimes I look at also time 2027 just around the corner, because right now we have just dealt with by-elections. But remember, there have been people currently campaigning for the 2027, and even the current people who are elected on those various seats, they are just on the campaign mode. They are not going even to work because their opponents are also campaigning as other people are campaigning the constituencies, because like next year, we have just begun our campaigns. So I believe that even though I support the petition, because before and during campaigns, we saw electoral malpractices massively. The issue of voter bribery, the issue of clearance of the candidate, how the candidate was cleared by the episode. Those questions must be undertaken by the court of law, and also the court of law must make a decision, so that because we are going to another elections, we need to be informed that in any scenario we are going for election in this country, are we going to operate this way, or there is other way we are going to operate? So it's very, very much significant for them to move to court, or some questions to be raised and some answers to be given to the public. As we are proceeding, so I'd also like to have a view whereby the current opposition and the people should as well focus on the issues to do with future elections. We should always do it right now, not until that time we have declared our results. That is when people are running left, right, and center to courts. People should be in courts right now before election. But we demand and bring a petition that no reforms, no elections. We can't go to election without reforms. Until we get it right, that's when we go for election. We can even suspend our elections, even in 2028 March. But until we get the reforms, that's my appeal to the people. Let us always be ready during and before, not after. Because this game we have been to it, you are only going to keep your supporters busy. You are going to keep hope alive to your supporters. But in the real sense, you are going to achieve nothing at the end of it. So that's the reality. We don't need to be keeping hope alive, but at the end of the day, there's no light. We need to do it that when we are jumping into our elections, we already know, no matter the outcome, most all parties must be satisfied.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to welcome Father Dan. Allow me to welcome Laban and good friend Goody. I can see Brenda Obedi as well. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome them and to let them know that this is home. This is where they belong. Mr. Miguda, on the election, the IEBC in particular, IEBC has been accused not once but several times. And if you read the comment here, can we focus on IEBC? They are the enablers in election fraud. How did they even allow Muthende vote? You know, a majority of these people who went for election, some of them had problems, and constitutionally they were actually not allowed. Remember the work that is supposed to be played by the EACC. Remember the work of the IEBC on stopping certain candidates. Do you think the IEBC as currently constituted has the capability of handling free, fair, verifiable elections in the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Miguda? And why do you think there has always been consistent complaints against the IEBC? And again, why is it that they've been giving chances to those people that have not passed the Chapter 6? Remember, the Constitution is very particular on that.
Okay. I think that is what I was trying to explain when you asked me the initial questions. But let me explain on my end. First, we have agreed as a nation that we have a problem with our electoral system. We have already found a problem that we haven't had verifiable elections in this country. And if that is a problem, although people are saying two was verifiable, that is a question for another day. But most of our elections haven't been verifiable. They haven't been simple. They haven't been fair. They haven't been transparent. As it may be, So I can just say we have a problem. That's a fact. And IBC as a commission is an independent institution mandated and enshrined in our constitution. If you go to chapter 15 of the constitution, the commissions and independent offices, we have IBC as one of the commissions. So the power has been vested into IBC directly from the people and envisages in the constitution. So any power they are exercising, they have derived it from the people directly as a commission. And they are exercising it so for the interest of the people. And if they are contrary to the interest of the sovereign power of the people as well can make a decision before elections. That's what I'm saying. We have a problem as a country. That is IBC, our electoral system. Then we are fond of always after the mess or after elections. That's when we move to court for the court to give us directives on how to deal with the electoral system. That's why in my proposal, as I'm supporting the petition of Dr. Kalonzo concerning the electoral malpractices, I'm also proposing that why can't we petition before elections? Why can't we petition before an election? Before we go for any exercise, we need to sit down as a country and move to our court to get directives based on the precedents that in this country, people have never, there has always been dissatisfaction of the results from the electoral system. What do we do as a people? We need to sit down, move to court right now, from the High Court, Supreme to the Apex Court, the Superior Court, from High Court, Appeal and Supreme, so that we can get directives and interpretation on how we are going to work in our 2027 elections. Without that, we are still going to go to court after 27 elections. So that's my appeal, because let us seek for this electoral justice right now. You know, previously, there was a section of people who were seeking for the electoral justice. And there are also some reports and also some research people have done about how do we reform our electorals. Because like I've told you, it is designed. Our elections ends as polling station. They are being declared as polling station. So, at polling station is final. We don't need transmission. We don't need electoral malpractices before and during campaigns. So if you can check on those issues that during campaigns, what are the measures that can be undertaken for the candidates or people or parties engaging in electoral malpractices? Stand measures, like disqualifications of candidates from contesting. Such measures should be undertaken. That's what the problem is, that we only wait. Of course, before and during, there are electoral malpractices. People are just mum. During declaration of the result, there is a electoral fraud, or there is what we call the tallying is not what it should reflect the popularity of the people. People are just mum. So after declaration, that's when people move to court. Of course, we can move to court to seek further redress. But what is pending before we reach there? Already we know what we should do, but there's a problem with the people of Kenya. That's why in my proposal, I want to institute to the opposition that let them first, even if they are proceeding with this petition. But how can we deal with the elephant in the house, the IBC? How can we ensure that we deal with this elephant in the house, IBC? That's my proposal. We of course, we know where the problem is as a Kenyan people. But now, why can't we be busy in courtrooms right now? Why can't we be busy in courtrooms right now as a people? Because that's where we can get salvage in courtrooms. We go to courtrooms, we can even initiate barazas, we can initiate public participation. This issue for IBC. And the people who should be leading us in this process are the united opposition, because they are the people who have fronted themselves to be the leaders of the opposition. So you can't be a united opposition, then you are somewhere just waiting for people to, even you must take action. You must come out, speak to the people. You must popularize your opinion. And I think that is how I can assist the scenario. So I'm just saying, according to me, not necessarily the people, not necessarily the elites, but what about the people? Because we cannot live in this country this way forever. And we must look for the solution always. Even if we have the results declared, but we can't just relax that. Let us live that way. Let us live with impunity. We can't live with impunity forever. We must always look for avenues where we can address, because even if our forefathers could have lived with impunity, today we could have not have the 2010 constitution. We could not have the devolution. We could not have the term limit for the president. But because they stood out and protested far right, today we are talking about two-term. Today we are talking about multi-party democracy. Today we are talking about constitution. They talk about evolution. So we must keep on. So we struggle. Struggle will not stop today. Is that because some people did this before, or some people did whatever, so we stop it? No, that's my proposal. We should, as Kenyan people, even let us leave out those leaders as a people. Why can't we chant a cause? Why can't we have our path for our cause? We chant a cause that we need more electoral justice in this country. Because once we get electoral justice right, and we do away with corruption, then we talk about our public finance. I think we are now projecting to a better direction.
Mr. Mbeere, do you think the move by Kalonzo and his team to challenge the election is the right move? And how is it going to be beneficial to the country? And remember, I asked you, what is your general view on the elections which were held in these two constituencies, that is Mbeere and Malava? Not just that, even in other constituencies, we saw consistent violence. We saw, there were a lot of inconsistency in these particular constituencies. And the question I'm asking you is, challenging these elections or taking the matter to the court, do you think it's going to bring back the sanity that is currently getting out of hand in the electoral commission? Is it going to bring back the trust that the people have lost on in the IEBC? And what can the IEBC do at this particular moment to ensure that they regain back that trust from the people?
Oh, I don't think so, because right now, let me report to you, people, Kenyans, have lost faith in the electoral system. And by Kalonzo Musyoka moving to court now to challenge the outcome of Mbeere and Malava respectively, doesn't qualify any thoughts of Kenyans right now that they're going to have confidence, because it's going to challenge two constituencies. Maybe some people are not even interested in those constituencies. Some people are interested in maybe gubernatorial. Some people are interested in presidency. Most people are interested on the on the election of the president, not even the constituency level. And if the people are moving to court to challenge 2 constituencies, it won't make IBC popular, or it won't make people trust IBC, even if they can win those cases. I don't think IBC will still be trusted by Kenyan's people. Of course, you understand, we know that even when we are going to elections, people know. Don't think Kenyans don't know. Kenyans know very well that IBC has been compromised. Kenyans knows very well that there's no fair electoral body in this country. You find some people still participating. Some people have swear never to vote in their entire life. And I have also friends of mine who are just laughing at me. They voted in 2013, so 2017 they were still laughing at you. People still vote. 2022 they were just laughing. People still vote, and they are also continue with the struggle that 2027 they won't vote. So we have Kenyans who really don't care because they understand that there's something like fairness in those elections, and they're just okay with whoever is elected. How are you going to convince those Kenyans? And there are a good number, because like if you have 22 million registered voters, then we end up with 12 million outcomes, or the people who turn out. So you want to tell me that where are the 10 million Kenyans?
There's a
How do
comment
you?
there from Dan.
No, you have lost on the screen. That's why I thought maybe or there is a problem with network. So how do you? I will respond that question. Just put it there. How are you going to tell these Kenyans now we have a better IBC? You can now vote. I have a good number of people, old people, who they don't waste their time voting. And even right now, when I was trying to engage some Gen Zs, they're telling me, in fact, some Gen Zs, they don't even want to vote. That's Mr. Pikakura. Many people, because they say whoever will be elected. So, there's no trust. That's trust deficit with the electoral body. And I'm suspecting there will be low voter turnout in my region. I don't know other regions, but where I'm coming from, people are not going to turn out in large number. That is a fact. And IBC, of course, there's a problem in this country. That must agree. So how do we resolve it? Even if you don't engage leaders, but as a people, how do we resolve it? And Father asks a question, Kai. How do we regain virginity? This is biological question. I don't know how to regain virginity, but I
What
think
he,
this
me-
now.
he meant is talking about the IBC. How will the IBC regain that trust from the people? That is the
That's why
question there.
I understand the question. I'm also trying to think about how can you regain trust. Trust is not easy to regain trust. Once it is lost, it's not there. Like what my good brother fathers just commented. Once it is lost, it's gone forever, and you cannot regain it. So I think there's no room for trust, and that's why I was like, we need to begin a new chapter, even if it is a matter of disbanding it. We disband the IBC because currently it is not constituted. That's why I was involving the people, that not even the leaders, the people should disband it. I know it's very much possible. If the people decide today we want to disband this electoral body thing, we disband it. And people must be ready to pay a price for a freedom. Like you said, that freedom has a price. And if people can decide, that's what I know. If people can decide, you can invoke Article 1, the sovereign power of the sovereignty. All sovereign power belongs to the people. And you also invoke Article 37, right to protest, picket, assembly. Then we call for reforms, and we can have a new independent body. That's my proposal, Mbako. But as for now, I can just assure you that there's just trust deficit, and we have a problem as a country. Let us not play drama. You know what Kalonzo is doing right now is drama. And that's why I told you, we have been there before with those dramas, that you wait for everything that has mess, then you go to court. So what if you go to court? Because we have been in those courts, try to seek redress, but we haven't been satisfied. And that's why we end up saying that we disagree with the determination or decision of the court, but we respect. We respect the decision, but we disagree. Why are we disagreeing? Because we are dissatisfied with the outcome, but respect the rule of law. So Kalonzo should stop drama and do the real things, politics. Let us learn the real politics, not the usual circle, usual drama. Then we know the end game. You can be predicted.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I can see quite a number of comments here, the comment section. I mean, good. I don't know whether you've ever had the oppositions calling themselves the United Opposition. I don't know what that means. If maybe you can give us your view or your understanding of the term United Opposition. And the reason why I'm asking you this is we've seen the different political parties, most of times, not once but several times, standing on their own, having a different political stand. Most of times, or sometimes even accusing the other political parties that are within the opposition. Sometimes also coming out to underestimate other political parties which are forming the united opposition. What is your view? Do we really have a united opposition? And do you really think they're united with purpose as the oppositions?
You know, politics is what it is. Some people want to own people, or want to own ideas, or want to own movements, or want to own slogan. Because from my view, if the government has been established, the minority party in the house, they play the oversight role. And the people also who are not in the house, in the August house, can decide to oversight outside. Even the media can oversight. Bunge la wananchi can oversight. Leaders can oversight. Religious leaders can oversight. And so on and so forth. Corporates, whoever want to can oversight. But there is a scenario whereby some individuals decide to own that we are the united opposition, that it is exclusively us who are the opposition. Anyone who is outside this camp is never an opposition. And there are people who have been telling that anybody who is not this party is working for Kasongo. I think it should not be exclusively left for other people. That it is only the united opposition, in quote, who are the people mandated to oversight. Even inside parliament, there are parties that are doing oversight role. And when you are doing oversight role, even me, even here in this media, we can do oversight role. But it should not be specific that only the United opposition are the people who are mandated to do, and anybody who can give out his thoughts, you are being treated as not an ally. No, that is very wrong. We are a democratic society. We have freedom of association. We have freedom of expression. We have political rights. We have many basic rights and fundamental freedoms that we enjoy as a people. Therefore, each and every person has a right to move freely, associate, and also engage in a political formation. And it is not a do die that I must belong to United Opposition. I can even decide to be my own opposition because I enjoy those rights and freedoms. Those basic rights and freedoms are not exclusively for the opposition team. They are for each and every individual, anyone, provided that you are born and bred in this country, or you have been registered, or you have been naturalized in this country, or you are international citizen. You enjoy those privileges and rights and freedoms. So to me, it is just a way of thinking that when you look at the United Opposition, you believe that they're the only people who are playing oversight role and they're the only people who can remove William Ruto. Someone can just walk directly from the people and emerge. If you emerge, you can emerge. You can just emerge, then you become the president. It is not exclusive that the only people who can remove Ruto is the United Opposition. Not only removing him, but the only people who can fight him in the contest, the people who can contest the United Opposition. And also these issues, there are some things that are not necessary. Like you are telling people that we are the only people who can do this, that we have decided, we have made a decision that no one should place the candidate in certain constituencies. No. Other than other than having basic rights and freedoms, we also have the political situation. Anyone can decide that for me, I'm going for Langata constituency. I'm not in DCP. I'm not in UD. I'm not in ODM. Maybe I'm in MDG. I'm going for the Langata. You should not be stopped that we have decided that all the people who are going for Langata must be a DCP or a UDA. That is very wrong. So this issue of ownership, whereby people tend to honor people, they tend to honor ideas, people, slogans, movements, that without him, nothing can move on. Without this team, nothing can move on. That's very wrong. United Opposition, in my view, these are just people who have come together specifically to serve their own interests. That's my view, my honest view to you. The people in United Opposition are people who have come together purposely to serve their own interests, not for the people. Because if that is the case, look at all those faces. Everyone in that United Opposition have been in government in one time or the other. What did they do to the people? Did any one of them serve the interests of people? Let me take a good example. Eugene Wamalwa has been given a CS for defense, but there are issues we have had with him. Matenga has been internal security. We have had issues with him. Against the people, remember? Against the people. We have had Rigiji. We have had issues with him against the people. We have had Karua. We have had JB Muturi. We have had many people, just to mention but a few. But what I'm trying to say is that they are not angels. They are not people who have been sent from heaven direct that you go and salvage the country. These are people we have been with in this country. You understand them? There's nothing so special or there's nothing that is new about them. They are just people who have regrouped to serve their own interests. The way the UDA regime have also regrouped to serve their own interests. And let me tell you, I'm certain sure, without any fear of any consequence or contradiction, that even the United Opposition, once they capture power, they will not deliver 100% to the expectation of the Kenyan people. That's a sure bet to you. That's why we have a problem, I know. And people are saying, how do we solve it? What's the solution? People have also been advocating for the overhaul. That why can't we overhaul the entire regime, then start afresh or reset? People have talked about revolution, but all those things are possible because we are in a political environment. We cannot dismiss either. They can happen actually, but this issue of ownership, exclusive ownership, that's very wrong. That's not how politics work, because you also have to give that path for independent thinking, whereby even if you are proposing this, I can also have a view differently from yours, and it can also assist me. For instance, let me give you an example. When I'm saying that all the 17 parliamentary seats in Nairobi, 16, I will capture them with MDG and Senate and Governor and Senate and the Women Rep. What am I communicating with my other collaborators? That is more of I'm deciding for you people but you have to negotiate that if you're taking governor, give us women rep, give the rest senator. So that is selfish, that is greed, and we should stop this politics of ownership and exclusive, whereby someone say, okay, I want to take you to government. How? There's no clear structure. We are taking us to government to do what? As who? What are the proposals? What's the government doing for us? So we need also to allow people to have that freedom other than applying aristocratic system of governance.
Thank you so much. Allow me to say a big thank you to Goodyear, Dan. I can see Spike, M1N. I can also see Eric Ayaga is here and is requesting for a link. They share the link. Miguda, on the same question about the position, you heard the statements that were made by Rigathi Gachagua about the agreement that they've had on which parties are going to be allowed to contest for gubernatorial position and for the Senate. And he's saying that they had an agreement that DCP would be given that chance. Kalonzo also came out to say, to dispute those statements. The question I'm asking you is, remember that is a united opposition. With those kind of thinking and with those kind of political statements, do you really think they are united opposition? And will it hold till the next general election? And what is your take on the different communication coming from different parties, some of them looking down or having an opinion, a negative opinion towards the other political parties within the united opposition? Do you think this is good for them as they are approaching the general election?
Oh, some of us, our work is very simple. We can just watch as they are making progress or as they progress, but we are able to tell each step they are making. Because first, it is never easy to bring people together. Then it's never easy to decide on how you want to work as a team. Because up to now, I think they have not even come to consensus who is going to be the flag bearer or running mate or whatever. But already someone is suggesting that the entire county is going to have more seats. So it's like you are with me here, but keep off these regions. No, that is a very wrong direction to me. You have to be open-minded and also allow competition within your camp. You know, that's you can't form a coalition then with already determined decisions, because we are being told in equity that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. You can't come with equity without clean hands. Then how are you saying that we are going to sit down to decide formula, and already you have determined decisions as per you? To me, it's never easy. And these are the things that can break the so-called united opposition. Because someone might argue that I have a formidable candidate who can be a women rep or a governor or a senator, but because of the already determined decision, I'm technically blocked, or my candidate is technically blocked from contesting. And maybe I was the popular candidate for that case. Like, let me give you an example of Nairobi. If in Nairobi, the Wiper candidate is the popular right now, according to this example, according to the polls example, then I'm saying, okay, Nairobi must be a DAP. And a DAP candidate is not even popular, is at 2%. So because I've a determined decision that it must be a DAP, then my Wiper candidate who is popular must shelve his ambition for the DAP. That's very wrong. You should do it scientifically, that in regions whereby I'm popular, let my candidates run. And in regions whereby I'm less popular, I let your candidates run. And that's how people are doing it. And that's why people had a problem previously, when it was all public knowledge that Igade was never popular. But because of issues like Jubilee must be given the governor for Nairobi, Tim Wanyonyi was the popular candidate. But those issues, like if Tim Wanyonyi could have contested against Sakaja, today we could have a different story. But because of those, I can say, types of politics, made it impossible for Igade to win against Sakaja. As a people or as a position, if you are going forward and if you want to be united as you are saying, you should be very careful on some action you are undertaking. And also you should try to look at the precedents, that what if we take this route? So you sometimes just let the popular candidates to run and contest, like what happened previously. If they could allow Tim Wanyonyi to contest and run, because they're arguing that if Raila becomes the president, Raila did not become the president, you see. So there are circumstances whereby your predictions also might be wrong. I just want to conclude by saying, if I'm popular in certain areas, allow me to contest for those. Look at the popularity. If I'm popular, let me run. If I'm less popular, I let you run. But not predetermine decision that even if I'm popular or not, I must occupy all these seats. That's very wrong.
Okay. Thank you so much. Allow me to welcome our good friend Eric. Eric, how are you doing? And you can also give us your take on the conversation that we are having tonight, partly about Kalonzo coming out to say that they're going to challenge the Mbeere and Malava
Okay.
results.
Can you hear me? Juu nasikia
Yes,
ni kama katika.
I can hear you. You proceed.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to be brief because niko busy hapa, kuna kitu nafanya. You know, for me, I don't advise. You know, somebody once says that if you see your enemy Your political opponent is making a mistake, you don't advise them. So I think in my capacity as Eric Hayaga, I am not in a position to advise regarding Gachagua. I think they are still reacting and to the laws they made in Mbeere, because sometimes they don't listen. You know, if you talk too much but you don't listen, politics is not about talking. Politics is not about chest thumping. Politics sometimes means you go silent, you strategize, and you get it very right. The reason why they lost Mbeere was that an roadside political agreement that are made in unfamiliar places. You see, in Mbeere, there was a candidate called Daniel Mbui, who was a DCP candidate. And you know, before election, there was a perception that DCP is a very strong candidate. It's a very strong party in Mount Kenya. So that perception made this guy called Daniel Boy a dancer. I think he's a dancer in a certain band. A guy of that caliber, having gotten the certificate of the big party, he invest. Such people, they invest, maybe as a land, some of his property, he go sell them as he is planning for a proper campaign and tax ahead for him to capture the seat. Waking up by the roadside and saying, now we have agreed and we are going to support the DP candidates. You have not sat with such people down and have some 2 or 3 in making decision. Is what cost them. Because if you had the votes Daniel Mbui got, and the one DP candidate Karis got, and the one who again, there was another person there who ran on I think he was independent, though he was of the side of the United Opposition. So they lost it, but they won it. The truth is, me, I liked saying the truth. The truth, they won that election. They won it, going by the numbers. If you add the Mbui's numbers and you go back and you check elections of that area, they are always being won, if not more than 1,000 or 15,000 votes. 1,500, I mean, 1,500 votes. And from even as early as 2022, you can go check, or even 2017. The elections in those regions, they don't have a huge margin, more than 5,000. So by the votes they got and the votes that guy got, they have won, and that's why I don't see why Kalonzo should go to the court. He's going to waste his time there. He will be wasting a lot of his time. He is a presidential candidate, you know, in that so-called United Opposition. I have a soft heart for Kalonzo. So for him, at least I can advise him, or his supporters, to go and advise him that he should not care about what happened in Malava and what happened in Mbeere. In Malava, it is candidate himself that messed Panyako. He missed 24 hours to election. The voting day continue messed. He became sober later, around noon, when things have gone south. So he should not waste his time going to the court. Nobody stole those elections. It is very hard, I can tell you, to rig a by-election. It is very hard. And we can't say that the people, when they feel the defeat, the United Opposition maybe did The same thing like the one they did in Kariobangi yesterday, because I reside on those areas. So I know what happened even yesterday. But they want to blame government on it. Election ended. The results was not contested. In Kariobangi North, nobody even contest the result. Because number one, ODM missed. They left a popular candidate and they gave a weak candidate who has lost almost all nomination. That's why even the MPs around that place never went to campaign for him. You didn't see TJ Kajwang there, yet that ward borders his constituency. You didn't see Anthony from Madari, yet borders Madari North. His constituency borders Madari North. So it was a mess done by ODM officials like Wanga. And they left the guy who became number two there. The guy who was number two was the real ODM candidate. And if you look at the results, the DCP candidate got 2,200 and about 40 something votes. The candidate who was independent got 1,900 and something votes. Then ODM became distance third with 1,000 votes. Yeah, and the UDA candidate got 995 votes. If you add those votes, they won, but they lost. But nobody in ODM is going to court that the candidate, the independent candidate was our candidate, the ODM candidate. If you add their votes, they are almost 3,000, beating a DCP candidate by far. So that was a political mess, same as to what happened in Mbeere, same as what happened to Seth Panyako. In a tight election, you don't misbehave in the day of election. So Kalonzo Musyoka should just concentrate in his presidential campaign. He should not waste his time that maybe you are required to go and campaign in Mombasa, but because you are an applicant, you must appear in court to people, to things that it was a political damage. And then in this united opposition, they also have differences, like Jubilee candidate, Jubilee side. Even if Fred Okengo Matiang'i went in Mbeere to campaign for Karish, majority of Jubilee, like Jeremiah Kioni and the rest, were supporting what they were not supporting. They wanted the DP candidate to be beaten. So maybe those are the small things that also work for the favor of Mudendi. So I think I will rest my case there unless you have a question. But I think those are the reality. Those dramas like the one you saw yesterday, election is not in contest. Nobody has complained that DCP candidate stole, but they are coming to church to to misbehave and cause drama to look for sympathy. We don't do such politics in Nairobi. Atanyoroshwa vibaya sana. Such politics, maybe they work in Mbeere and somewhere in Kieni, but even they didn't work in Mbeere. So I think if Rigiji want to go and pray, go and pray. Don't stop inciting your community against other people, because if you do and you isolate them, they were here in 2007 when they isolated, so they are not stupid. They will not go that way. If they cannot fight all the communities in Nairobi, they can't. Even them, they know. And lastly, they are the landlords. They are the people who, if a war, in where I come from, there is a proverb that says that if you are selling eggs, you don't start a war in the market. If truly you are a business-oriented person who want everybody as a customer, you don't start fight. Because if you start that fight against these people, you will be the bigger loser. And when you are strangled economically, Who told you cannot be strangled in other ways, socially and politically? So people need to be very careful. But I don't want to advise them, the DCP. I don't want to advise them. So they can do whatever they want. They have their way of politics, and I love the way they are doing it. Thank you. Makobura, you have left. I think you will come back. So for me, that is what I can say now. I am also engaged in something, so I think it is net or something has kicked him out. He will be back. So I think, as I finish, because my brothers are back here. So I think I am in love because for me, I'm just honest. I have never buyed into Ruto's style of politics. I have never buyed into Gashagwa's style of politics and Uhuru Kenyatta's style of politics, and I'm honest. So if because Uhuru is not even now in the ballot, so Ruto and Gashagwa can do whatever they want. For those ones, I don't care and I cannot advise them. But Kalonzo at least is somebody we have shared a political course for very long time. So I can advise Kalonzo. But for Gashagwa, he can incite his people. But a moment, I think PCA is a church that also hosted other communities in Kenya, and more so in a place like Badari North, Kariobangi North. It has a lot of non Mount Kenya people, and I think that area in 207, those were the hotspots where the people from the larger Mount Kenya feel it hard to when the war broke out, and they really suffered, and some have not even walked back to life. I don't know, but I'm questioning if truly Rigathi Gachagua love his people. There is a place you can incite people, and there are places that if you incite, you know your people will suffer more. Such places are like Kariobangi North, and he knows that there is a ODM zone. Even the MCA who died, I think he was a Mkamba who speak a very fluent Dholuo, and that can tells you the majority community that stays there. So if he chose to incite because ODM made a mistake of giving a wrong candidate, and he want to use a win of slim majority to cause violence, the violence begot violence. But I don't support that. So thank you. Unless you have a question, Makubura, I will take my leave.
Okay, maybe before you leave, Eric, you can give us your take on the comments by Rigathi Gachagua saying that they've agreed that the coming general elections, the gubernatorial and the senatorial positions should be given to DCP, and the rebuttal that we got from Kalonzo Musyoka disputing the same statements and saying that that is not how it is. You can give us your take on that and then your final remarks.
Okay, thank you. For me, I want to answer it this way. This is it is true. It is true. They have seen the formula, and the formula works for him in Kariobangi North. So he is very wise. And I think when somebody is telling you the truth, even if you disagree with that person, sometimes just keep listening to the truth. That guy is not talking to Kalonzo Musyoka. I don't think that message, and that's why even before 24 hours lapse, Kalonzo has rejected that offer. That offer was not for Kalonzo Musyoka. That offer was for ODM. The message was directly for ODM. If ODM, our party, will, because I'm seeing the end of UDA actually, because the majority of UDAs, even MCS, will go to DCP. That's a fact. You cannot, where there is fact, there is fact. So the UDA will die natural death here in Nairobi. I'm also seeing Moses Kure has come to run, and they want to pick Aladwa as his deputy. Very interesting things ahead. So if my party will not do a proper nomination to come up with a good and a popular candidate, the UDA people will sponsor through money, the DCP people will sponsor through money a candidate who is popular in ODM and feel he is not fairly treated by ODM. He will split the votes of ODM. Theirs will be solid. And remember, we don't have a threshold for governor and other seats except the president. So the high chances, because I know if you look, I can tell you, Zimmerman, I can give you briefly the constituency. They will have candidates and they will win. Zimmerman, they will take. Kasarani, high chances they will have it, unless the current MP did a good job to the people. Kariobangi North, Embakasi North, high chances they can have it. Yes, they can have Embakasi North. They will have high chances they can have Embakasi East. If we don't have a proper nomination, they will have Kariobangi East. If Babu Wino feel disgruntled and leave the likes of Wanga to battle it from Ushago, they will have Kariobangi East and West. And the Wiper will win Kariobangi South. I think that those are the things that guy was saying, that out of 17, it is only one constituencies that they will leave for Wiper, which is very correct. Wiper will have Kariobangi South. Kariobangi Central will be taken by the DCP candidate. If you go to Makadara, they can battle it out if Aladwa is not in the picture. And remember that constituency, it has changed between ODM Jubilee. There was a candidate called Dikwa Deka. Then after Dikwa Deka, there was former Nairobi speaker. I'm forgetting his name. Then Aladwa comes in. So it is a swing. It is a swing constituency. It can go to either way. If ODM will not, Makadara will not win. ODM will have Kibra. That is a sure bet. ODM will have Langata. That's a sure bet. ODM Madari, I think, is a sure bet, and Baraka. ODM will have those constituencies. Those are sure bet. Kariobangi, Dagoretti South. DCP will battle it with UDA. They can have it. The MP from there used to be a vocal supporter of president. and since the UDA DCP comes on board, he has developed cold feet anaitwa KJ. That is Embakasi South. Embakasi no, Dagoretti South. Dagoretti North, ODM will battle it with DCP. It will depend with how they manage their nominations, but high chances ODM will have Dagoretti North. If you come to Starehe will go to DCP. They will battle it with UDA. If somebody run from Jubilee and ODM also have a strong candidate there, the high chances of DCP winning it is a very high. I don't want to go for the small things like MCS. So those are the 17 constituencies, and it is possible what he's saying. It will only depend with how ODM conduct nominations. Number two, how they will work with the UDA, because look at Kariobangi North. What is a very good example. Kariobangi North, ODM got 1900 votes. Then UDA, which they are in the same broad-based with, got 995. Those are broad-based only. Then DCP got 2400, yeah. He had 4400. If you add even the votes of UDA and ODM, they have beaten a winner by almost 5,000 votes. So what will matter is how the ODM does their nomination. If you add that ODM plus UDA vote, they beat a winner with 500 votes. Yes. If you add a disgruntled ODM member who got 1900, I think. Yeah. If you add ODM got around 1,000, around 1,000. If you add a disgruntled ODM member who was number two, who got 1900 votes, they have beaten a DCP candidate by about 2,000 votes. So it will depend on how ODM conduct their nominations. If they messed with the nominations, UDA has gotten it right. They sponsored an independent candidate who feel disgruntled by ODM nomination and became number two, and they were number one. So high chances of them having majority of MPs in Nairobi is 100% a message to ODM. You can dispute it for now, but the results will speak for themselves. The reason why we have even less ODM MPs now compared to Jubilee, to UDA, is because we messed with our nomination. And I think we should look for those things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Eric, for finding time and for also coming to give us your take. We really appreciate. You can see me good day is also back. Allow me to also appreciate him as well. And I can also see our good friend, Brother Benson, is also here. I'll give him a chance to also give his take on the discussion of the topic that we're having tonight, where Kalonzo Musyoka is, is coming out to say that he'll be challenging the Mbeere North election together with the Malava election. And he's saying that there are so many reasons that is making him to do that. He's saying that the elections were not free, fair, and verifiable as per what the constitution dictates. And we've also talked about the comments by Rigathi Gachagua coming out to say that they have agreed with the Wiper Party that they are going to take the positions of governor and senator in the Nairobi elections, coming elections. And not just that, we can now listen to you, Brother Benson. You can give us your take, and I don't know if you're available. I let you close.
No,
Ni
I cannot close because like I'm on the transit. That is how it is. I'm just here for a few minutes. Then once you can close when I leave. Ayaga and Miguda habari gani? Habari zenyu? Yeah.
Uko salama kaka?
Niko poa sana. I hope you're doing good.
Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Makobura, I will not take too much of your time, but I will just want to give, first of all, on the comment that was made by Rigathi Gachagua. And, I think like Rigathi Gachagua for now is a very slow learner in politics. And I think he's one person that is so much obsessed with numbers and the politics of where you are coming from. Because the only reason why he alluded to that is that the majority of the population in Nairobi, or the majority of the people who are doing that business in Nairobi, belong from people from Central. And I don't know how that arrangement will work. Remember, we also in United Opposition, there's also people like Matiang'i, there's also people like Natembea, there's Eugene Wamalwa. So I don't know why he has just decided to agree with Mr. Kalonzo, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, that is how it is going to work. You know, that kind of reasoning with the election that is coming and with the by-election, I feel that was something that he could have not put on the table. Right now, they could have gone back to strategize and see where were the weakness, because like they've seen what is 2027 going to be, whether it is through what happened or everything that happened is all about 2027, whether it is Gunism and all that. So one of the things that they could have done, instead of even like coming up to say that, okay, we have agreed with Kalonzo, first of all, they could have agreed to work out on what have just happened, the concluded by election, and they used to evaluate what were the areas of our areas of weakness, what were the areas of the strength, and how can we make sure that we've seen what the government is capable, or yes, the government is capable. What can we do? That is one. So to me, by coming and saying that, that one tells you that opposition is still not speaking in one voice. They have still not come out with a clear picture on how they want to beat President William Ruto. And President William Ruto, I now from will not be beaten by such like rhetorics. Yeah. President William Ruto will not be beaten by that rhetoric, because like you see that the politics of renting, because what has emerged is that we have politics of renting. We rent. You use a lot of money. You rent people so that they can vote for you. you know. So I thought he could have looked at those ways on how can they, even after we secure Nairobi, how can we make sure that we secure Nairobi as to become a strong opposition area rather than that. That is one. Now, coming to what Kalonzo is saying of them going to court to challenge the results of Mbeere and Malava, I feel it is a good move. And by that, it means it will also make us to get the true result or the true findings on IEBC, how they conducted this election. And that one will help, it will even help IEBC to think otherwise. Because I feel if somebody does not go to court to challenge what has happened, not only to what has happened, especially to the, like the candidates, and also to the institution of IEBC, so that we can know where the problem is or where there is no problem. Because maybe sometimes we might be talking about what happened, yet sometimes we do not have a clear finding. IBC will bring in their guys and they will give the reasoning. Then from there, they will be vindicated, or the questions that, as doubting questions that the Kenyans are putting on them, then will be answered on the judicial processes, So let them go and go to the courts. But as they go to the courts, they should also meet together and look at the strategies on how they want to um, bring people to their side, or to make sure that they have majority of people who are following them. Very important. But if it is the politics of it, and what right now I'm seeing the deputy president is trying to play, like we've agreed and all that, I think the united opposition might be losing it at the end of the day. And because like they do not have message that they can tell people rather than all that. That is what I think. But I think even Rigathi Gachagua should tone down on that kind of politics and forge forward. How can we go into this competition knowing who they are competing with? That is my take, Mr. Makobura.
Thank you so much. Allow me to also welcome our good friend Msimamo, naye pia kuja atupe maoni yake on the comments by Kalonzo Musyoka of planning to do to go to court to challenge the Mbeere North and Malava election results. And also, you can give us your take on the comments by Rigathi Gachagua saying that the DCP would be given a chance to field in the candidate for the gubernatorial position and also the senatorial position, that it's an agreement they did have with the Wiper Party. And then you'll give us your final remarks, Msimam.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity, and I'm glad to be here. And sitaki kutumia kizungu mingi, mimi ni mtu wa Kiswahili. Alright. So kwa swali lako nimelisikia vizuri, lakini kwanza nipokea zangu pamoja wale wanatufuatilia na kutusikiliza haswa kwa hii Brother Benson Show. Swali la kwanza umeniuliza ni react maswala na Kalonzo kwenda kotini. Ana haki ya kwenda kotini, kwa sababu tunataka tuzitengeneze hizi koti zetu. Je, zitabebwa ama zitabeba kile ambacho Mkenya anakihitaji? Zitabebwa kwa ajili ya viongozi fulani ama zitabeba yale ambayo Mkenya anapitia nayo? So ikiwa wamechukua ushahidi wa kutosha, wana haki ya kwenda mahakamani, na tuone mahakama itatenda nini, kwa sababu hata kikatiba tunaambiwa kwamba baada ya uchaguzi kama unakuta mambo haja kwenda sawa, wewe nenda kwenye koti. Tofauti ile kwamba sometimes koti nayo inakuwa sasa iko mikononi mwa mtu, yani chakula shibe, sasa shibe inatapika chote kile. For instance, tukikumbuka 2022 tukwambia World Guns chezi nini na masuala kama hayo. So tunataka tuone koti zetu katika hii by election zitaamua vipi. Bora wawe wana ushahidi wa kutosha kuonyesha kwamba hakika kwamba mambo hayakwenda sawa, lakini vile vile pia waweke katika koti la wananchi, kila wanavyofanya speech waseme wizi ulifanyika hivi, wimbo yalikuwa hivi, yakawa hivi, na ndio maana tunakimbia kwa koti. Hilo ni la Kalonzo. So la pili ukaniuliza hapa masuala na Gachagua. Nataka mimi ari yangu kama natusikiza nafuata hizi show, ari yangu aondokane katika ngome. Ngome hautatusaidia. Ngome hautatusaidia. Jamii ile muhimu hapa, vita vyetu ni vya Wakenya wote. Sio kama unanipata kaka, ama niko peke yangu? Yes. So arudi katika Ukenya, la sivyo basi atakuwa anatugeresha. Maana huenda pengine tukaenda naye ikifika mwezi wa 6 mwaka ujao akarudi tena katika serikali. Mfano tusikie kama tambua kesi zako zimeondolewa na sasa hivi unaweza simama kiurais kama rais, na tukumbuke msimamo yake akisema ni hivyo hivyo, hataki kuambia hivi sivyo. Sometimes haya mambo lazima pia tuangalie kwamba asimame katika taifa, lakini aondokane katika ungome. Na kuna swali la tatu ambalo umeuliza, nataka unikumbushe kaka, hilo swali la tatu ulikuwa umemaanisha nini? Apart from Gachagua.
Yeah, the comments that is saying that yeah, he was saying that they've agreed with the Wiper Party that they will be fielding the electoral positions within Nairobi County, and that Wiper watawaachia zile the gubernatorial, the senatorial, and then Kalonzo is coming out to deny.
Ni sawa, unajua United Position sasa hivi, nilizungumza awali katika channel mbalimbali tofauti tofauti ambazo nilikuwa hapo, nikasema nini cha kuogopa, nini cha kuogopa, kwa sababu kile ambacho kipo akilini mwa Mkenya ni kipi kitakachomwokoa. So kwa United Position ilikuwa ni watoke mapema waseme kama ni Matiang'i ni Matiang'i, Wakenya wajue ni Matiang'i, kama ni Kalonzo tuseme ni Kalonzo, kama ni mama yetu haswa party leader nini Martha Karua tujue ni Martha Karua. Hii masuala kwamba ati tunangoja tunaficha ficha maana kijulikana siku tutatukwaje, hii kwamba bado tunaogopa, tunaonyesha kwamba tunaogopa mtu, tuseme ni fulani, ili wakati wa kunadi haswa sisi tukiwa mashinani tunasema fulani ndo wetu, ndo fulani ndo wetu. So hii kabla ya uchaguzi itakuwa imeflow akili mwa Wakenya na tutafanya vizuri, lakini mnakaa ukifika mwezi wa sita mwaka ujao ndo mnasema ni fulani, hii itakuwa imechelewa, na ndivyo ambavyo tunaingia katika viatu vya Ruto vya Kasongo. The more tunachelewa, the more tunaingia katika viatu vyake, na pia anatukinyaga vizuri. So let them have one meeting, they decide on what they are going to decide on the way forward. If kama ni Matiang'i, we citizen tuone ni Matiang'i. If it's Kalonzo tutamback up, ni hivyo. If it's Martha Karua ni hivyo, ni Eugene ni hivyo, nitatembea ni hivyo, ni Omtata ni hivyo. Lakini hii mambo kutuchelewesha hii inatukanganya kidogo. Na hii masuala ya viti kwamba Kalonzo Wiper ichukue gubernatorial sio Senate, hapa bado hapa ni upotevu wa akili. Kama Gachagua amezungumza, ni upotevu wa akili kama ni kiongozi, kwa sababu shida yetu kubwa kama Wakenya ni bad governance, na tunataka tuende katika good governance. So let them stick on how are we going to form, how are we going to bring all Kenyans together so as they all feel that they're part and parcel of this mission, fighting bad governance against good governance. So to me, kama msimamo naweza nikasema hilo ndo kubwa, utawala mbovu dhidi ya wananchi ambao wanahitaji utawala mzuri. So tutapataje utawala mzuri? Ni kwa kuondoa mtawala mbovu ambao una nguvu, una machinery, umechukua pesa ametia mfukoni. So how are we going to achieve this? Hiyo ndio suluhu. Maswala wewe utachukua hii, wewe utachukua hii, wewe utachukua gavana hii, wewe utapata senator hawa, wewe utafanya hivi. Huu ni uchache wa akili na ndio kuyumba kwa opposition, na mwisho wa siku watashindwa kutuondolea bad governance, but wataweza kuiongeza hiyo bad governance ili tufinyilie zaidi. Asante. Mimi ndio sema wangu na ufunguzi wangu. Asante.
Thank you so much. Maybe Eric, unaweza tupea maoni yako ya mwisho na msimamo, alafu tutafunga.
Okay, I will be brief like a cock on top of a hen. I will be very brief. I just want to say this. It is high time. Kalonzo has entertained Gachagua for a very long time. Going by the election in Mbeere and the results from Mbeere, I think Kalonzo has entertained, and when Raila Odinga went and joined hand with Ruto, he damaged his political reputation. May his soul rest in peace. The truth sometimes we have to say with regard of respect and everything. But Kalonzo is also destroying his reputation by working with Gachagua. What he can do and he should do in the next 1 or 2 months that is coming ahead, Kalonzo should group Matiang'i Eugene, Karua, and the likes of Natembeya to chant a different political route with Rigathi Gachagua and Uhuru Kenyatta. They should start a political course, because for me, I just want to be honest. Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka can have many votes from Nyanza, very many votes. But with Rigathi on him, he will lose so many votes from there. So that will depend. If he's sure he wants to run for the presidency, let him work with the people who are seen as Kenyans, as patriotic Kenyans who is talking about everybody. Because if we go this route, I don't know who will speak for El Molo, who will speak for Turkanas, who will speak for Masai, who will speak for Ogiek. If Gachagua just want to be a Kikuyu spokesman, they should isolate him. And if they don't want to isolate him, he when he was launching the party in May, around May or so, he told us that he want to occasion a general election, that he has some 30 MCAs across Mount Kenya, and he has some MPs who will resign and senators who will resign. I think it is high time of all these hullabaloos we are discussing Gachagua and give him a lot of time. We should remind him of his word. He's a truthful man. We should just tell him, the Mr. Truthful man, you promised us something. Now it is high time you tell the people who are supporting you. We start with the Laikipia senator, and then we go to Moranga. Then we go to the MCS, the ones and MPs he was talking about, so that he can actually cause that mini by-election by next year, April. If he's sure he can win a quarter of the people who will resign to go to that mini poll using the DCP, a quarter, then we can sit down with him. Akina Kalonzo should sit down with him and say, then you are serious. If he will not win a quarter of the people who will resign in his favor to prove a point, then I think he should be left to make noise. You know, there are some people they should just be left to make noise and create dramas to look for favor. My understanding with the Central people, they vote emotionally in a certain manner. They vote in a certain manner. When they are threatened, I don't think they are threatened by anything, by this administration. At the end of the day, they say that is their kank. I'm around. I'm speaking with few. Hapa kwa mtandao, there are few radical that they think they speak on behalf of the Mount Kenya. Even the results in Mbeere shocked them. Some are even from Mbeere. I have some of my friends who are coming from Mbeere. But hapa kwa mtandao, they are so radical. They even say how the revolution, they will cause a revolution, how they will chase Ruto. The results in Mbeere is even a shame to them. So I think it is high time we stop. We let Gachagua make noise and drama. Gachagua is still pained about his loss that he was removed from the DP. He is still pained. You can see, yeah. And I think the Mount Kenya people will share that pain with him. Why did they love Uhuru Kenyatta? They feel threatened because they were seeing Uhuru was in the line of succession. Uhuru was meant to be president after Kibaki, long way before. Because if you look at Uhuru was nurtured in 2022, in 2002. That's when he was introduced. Remember, he was opposition leader and he never opposed Kibaki. Immediately the likes of Raila left in 2002, in 2005, he joined Kibaki government and he became so senior in that government. What happened to him in 2007 after the post-election violence? He was made a deputy prime minister and given a ministerial finance, minister of finance. And I think that is what caused problem between Martha Karua and Kibaki. He was made. So when the ICC came, and the mountain people saw that the one we have molded, the one we knew will take power after Kibaki is at a threat. That's how they cobbled around him. But not the one that was given the work, misbehaved with the work, and was chased by his own people and want to bring the emotions of CVU, is insulting every leader from that region publicly, even calling them with foolish name. By the way, that guy will be sabotaged by his own people. So I'm asking for Kalonzo and his team, they should chant a new political journey minus let them work with the Gachagua post 2027 election, because if he runs, yes, he can cause a rerun, and you may need him. You know what Baba told us, you may disagree with some people politically, but you may work with that person politically in future. So what Baba told us, that there is no permanent hatred in politics. We only disagree in opinion. Like for now, the likes of Natebea, the likes of Matiang'i, the likes of Eugene, the likes of Karua, though Karua, you know, Karua has no effect in politics. He has formed a party for civil. Yeah, yeah, he has formed a party for civil rights. That party cannot win, even in Gichugu. They can't even win a MCA. But when it comes to civil rights, you see them in Tanzania, you see them in Uganda, you see them. You see them. So under political
kwamba ngoja kwanza bro, subiri kwanza, umezungumza muda mrefu. Who told you kwamba pati ya mama Martha Karua haiwezi zagaa Kenya nzima, yaachiwe tu mambo na kesi? Nani alikwambia hivyo? Uliyapata wapi? Ulisikia wapi?
Okay, asante. So wacha nimalize alafu nikujibu. So it can be used as a sign of civil right in that coalition. So they leave Gachagua do his thing. So my friend, wacha nikujibu tena na Kiswahili. Siasa ya the political party huwa inaundwa kuwin election, sawa sawa, kutafuta uongozi wa nchi, si nchi peke yake, hata UMCA, hata ubunge, useneta. Tumekuwa na uchaguzi wiki moja ama mbili iliyopita, tumekuwa na uchaguzi. Ni kama uko kwa huo party. Sasa huu party yenu, ndugu yangu, mulikuwa na agreement ya United Opposition, you don't feel the candidate penye walikuwa wanaweka candidate. Candidate yenyu Kasipul Kabondo alikuwa nani? Candidate yenyu Gunja alikuwa nani? Candidate yenyu Banesa and Nanami Turkana respectively ilikuwa nani? Candidate yenu Baringo ilikuwa nani? Na nani aliwazuia kutoweka?
Subiri nikupe majibu yako ndugu yangu, alafu nikutoka katika shombo ambalo uko nalo, na nikuambie achana na mipango ya PLP, hutaiweza. Si kwamba PLP yatimenyamaza kwa sababu haikusimamisha chaguzi ndogo, wala haikujamzia Banisa wala wapi. Usilolijua ni kwamba ni usiku wa giza. Achana na PLP, usihitaji na usitaki kujua mipango ya PLP imefikia wapi. Ngoja majibu utayaona, ndio utajua ni chama ambacho sasa kimevunja hiyo yako na usukuma hiyo narrative ya ODM, ambayo nayo ODM inasambaratika na itasambaratika na itasambaratika Hiyo tu ni kitu na kuwashua, kwa sababu mimi nilikuwa member wa ODM for long. I know, na ninachokizungumza nakijua nazungumza kwa nini. So my brother, wacha tu nikutoe shombo la masikio hapa. Achana na kutaja chama cha Mama Mataka, kwa sababu hujue kilicho chini ya mbungu ni kipi, na kwa sababu usilolijua ni usiku wa giza, wewe endelea tu na hulka yako ya ODM, ubaki hapo hapo, but achana hii chama kabisa, kwa sababu level iko nayo hata ODM haijafikia hapo kwa sasa hivi, ungalijua. Asante.
Haya, so nikimalizia, asante. Unajua ni vizuri kukuwa na ndoto, hata kama si kama kwa usiku wa giza, ndoto ya mchana.
Msimamo huwa sibahatishi,
ndoto ya mchana pia.
Nikizungumza sizungumzi ndoto ya mchana wala ya usiku, nazungumza kile kipo hapo.
Okay, asante.
Kama uliona labda hiki sema wapita tawala, ngoja nikuhakikishie kwamba utaona. Nikwambia wewe nyamaza tu. Siku zinapokwenda tutakuja hapa kwenye show, alafu utakuja kuambia nani akina msimamo, kwa nini nilizungumza hili mbele ya media kama hii. Kwa hivyo achana kabisa na masuala ya PLP kwamba huyu ni mama tu anatumika sheria. Hapana, chunga sana, usimsifu baba yako ana mbio, mtazame na ule Masai ambaye aishuka liko juu, alafu utaniambia.
Haya, asante. Sasa nikimalizia, ndugu yangu Kevin, unajua watu wa PLP wananifurahisha. Unajua mimi hata nimewasifu, kuna mahali nimewadhalilisha, nimewasifu. Kwanza nimewasifu kwa kazi ambao wanafanya, si Kenya peke yake, hata ya kimataifa. Unaona kiongozi wa hicho chama wa PLP wakati anadhulumiwa kule mpinzani Tanzania, wao ndio wachache walifanya ujasiri kuenda eneo huko, hata kama alibanduliwa kwa ile nchi. Wao ndio wale wachache walienda kusimama na Chadema, kiongozi wa Chadema. Alafu tena wakati Besigye alishikwa kule Uganda, ndugu yangu, nimewasifu kwamba niliwaona bado mkienda na ujasiri, ilali Tanzania Uganda ina maneno yake. Na pia nikasema pia kuna vijana wawili ambao wako kwa hicho chama ambao karibu wameshikwa Uganda juzi, wakakaa huko karibu miezi mbili, around 38 days huko, wakikaa wakipigwa, ambao ni ya chama yenyu. So mimi kwamba nimewasifu nikasema hicho chama ni cha haki ya kibinadamu, lakini
usimalize hapo. Madamu ushakubali kwamba ni cha haki ya kibinadamu, unangoja nini ODM? Mbona usije PLP na tukikuze kwa pamoja? Kwa sababu misingi yake ni ya kuhakikisha kwamba haki inatawala, si Kenya tu, bali hata nje ya mipaka ya Kenya. Sasa unangoja nini kwa ODM na UDA na vyama vingine ambavyo vimekuwa hapo? Haki za binadamu zinafanyika kinyume na visivyo, na viko hapo ni vyama ambavyo ni kongwe, na viko hapo havisaidie. Ndugu yangu, si nikukaribisha sasa tukijenge pamoja, kwa sababu umekiri mwenyewe kwamba unakubali kile ambacho chama inakifanya na kiongozi wa.
Haya, asante. Mimi
tatu anaamini kwamba umoja hasa wa taifa ni jambo bora zaidi. Unangoja nini huko? Njoo ndugu yangu tukikuza chama. Asante.
Unajua we ndugu yangu unatoka Mombasa, na unajua mtu kuingia mahali huwa anatongozwa, na ungenisikiza kwanza alafu unitongoze polepole, kwa sababu nimewasifu kwanza. Shida yangu kuna nyinyi ni moja tu, kwa sababu siwezi kuwa na masifa tu, pia nitakuwa na maneno haitawapendeza. Mimi niko kwa ODM kwa sababu ilali ODM wanapigania haki pia ya wanadamu, pia wanapenda sana kunipati ile mimi nataka uongozi, mimi nataka kuchaguliwa. Mimi sitaki kukua mwanaharakati peke yake. Hiyo chama yenyu nyinyi ni wanaharakati, ni vizuri, tunawapenda, si hata yenyu peke yake. Kuna chama pia huko kwetu inaitwa Communist Party, na huyu jamaa anaitwa somebody Omoli, ya? Ndio kiongozi wa hicho chama. Hawataki uongozi, hata wakisikia by elections ni hiyo, hawaweki candidates, hawatafuti candidates, but wako pale. Wakisikia mtu ameshikwa mahali, hicho ndio party huwa inatokelezea kwanza kutetea haki ya wananchi. Lakini mimi nataka ile party itafanya
na ijenga pamoja. Nimefika hapo ilipo leo, unajisifu nayo. ODM ilikuwa ni chama kitaifa, kwa sasa hivi ndio mnaeleza kwamba ni chama ya nyumbani. Umeondoka katika ile hali ya utaifa na misingi ambayo baba yetu ametuacha, mwenda zake roho yake ailaze mahali pema peponi. Umefanya sasa ni chama ya jamii, kwa wengine ni kanga wenye chongo wafukulie wenye macho. ODM ilifikia hapa kwa sababu ilipendwa kitaifa na ilijengwa kitaifa. That's why now na kukaribisha tujenge PLP ipik ODM ambayo inayumba. Kuna wale wanasema wako ndani ya serikali na kule wanaosema kwamba tuliingia kwa mkataba. Ndugu yangu, usipoteze muda, njoo kwa PLP, chama ambacho kinaamini kuunganisha Wakenya wote, lakini vile vile kwamba kitaheshimu katiba na sheria ya nchi. Hapo ndipo tulipo kwa sasa hivi. Kwa hiyo tukijenge chama hiki, mimi na wewe ndugu yangu hapa, kisimame. Tusipokijenga hiki chama ambacho kina misingi thabiti, kiongozi wake ni thabiti, hashaushiki, naye natakijenga. Tukianza kukiponda kwamba ni chama ni chama kipo tu hivi tu na unajigamba na ODM. Kumbuka hata mimi ama member of ODM since before, nimesimama na ODM since before, kwa tumekikuza hiki chama. Lakini imefikia wakati mgawanyiko huu ambao tuko nao kimefanya chama ni cha kijamii. Sasa tumeondokana katika ile mada ambayo ni husika ya mlengo ambaye ni mwananchi. Kwa chama pekee yake ambaye kitasimama na mwananchi kikamilifu ni People's Liberation Party with the slogan let's unite and liberate. Asante, nafikiri hapo nitakuwa nimekujibu maswali yako.
Haya, asante. Na kwa sababu umekuwa mwanaharakati na pia umekuwa mwana sheria ya kusema haki tendeke venye iko, sasa tumekuanga na shida. Sasa sisi kama jamii ya Wajaluo, wacha niseme ndio jamii yangu mimi, kama tunaweza kuwa wengi kijamii tupate kiti kule Magarini, na pia tukue na party, tukue Wajaluo wakue wengi kule Turkana, Wajaluo wakue wengi kule Turkana, wakue hata namba 2 ama namba 2. Sasa wewe kama mwanaharakati, nataka kuona ile ka statement yenyu, Wajaluo wapewe their census population number ikuwe the highest people with the highest population in Kenya. If ODM ni ya Jaluo, mimi nataka sasa nyinyi kama wanaharakati kesho mkatoe, muende kotini on our behalf nao. Hii kwa sababu nauliza kwa sababu ya jamii yangu mimi pia, kila mtu huwa ako na kwao. Mimi pia nauliza kama jamii yangu, kesho kama party ya PLP mnafanyia haki, muende mkaseme ODM imekuwa ya jamii. Hii jamii iko Magarini kwa wingi, hii jamii iko Turkana, hii jamii iko Mandera, hii jamii ndio imefanya yule jamaa akawa gavana kule Wajia. Hawa watu wakahesabiwe na wakuwe declared the highest population in community with the highest community, yani the highest community with the highest population number, and their vote alone is more than 3/4 of the electorate registered in this republic. Mkifanya hayo nitajua mnafanya haki, kwa sababu haya ni maneno yanatoka kwa kinywa chenyu. Wajaluo ni wengi, wako kila mahali, na ile namba yenye tumepewa na Kenya Register of persons. We are doubtful and we have questioned that number for very long time. And I beg you, you people should go to court on our behalf, like the Somalis also went to court to dispute the census. I want you to go to court, dispute the census with the results of this by-election and table your evidence. Hata kule Magarini, Mombasa kwetu, Wajaluo ni wengi, ndio wakafanya Harry Kombe kakuwa mbunge kule kwetu. Asante.
Wacha nikuambie kitu kimoja kaka, tukimaliza hapo, ODM tulijenga kama taifa, hatukijenga kwa sababu ya Wajaluo wako wengi hapa, wako hapa. Tulijenga kwa sababu ya misingi ya muasisi ambaye alikuwa ni mwenyekiti wa chama, party leader wa chama. Hakuwa anaangalia Ujaluo, alikuwa anaangalia taifa. Katiba alipigania kwa ajili ya taifa. Mageuzi ya vyama vingi alipigania kwa ajili ya taifa. Hajakiweka hiki chama kwa ajili ya Wajaluo. Mungu alivyomchukua kwa sababu wakati wake umefika, ndo kimegeuzwa ODM ni chama cha Wajaluo ili huyu nduli hapa apate kuwatumia kama vikaragosi. Ndugu zangu, acha niwaambie kweli, na msema kweli siku zote ni mpenzi wa Mungu. Kaka, tusijipoteze hapo. Katika lugha ambayo unaitumia katika ODM unakiua hiki chama mazima na hakuna sauti hapo. Jiulize sasa hivi mnayumba nyinyi wenyewe, haswa mnaikuta kwamba mnakutegemea ODM. Lakini ODM kuna mwingine mdomo kwa wazi anangojea hii meze yote lakini kuna wale ambao wako kando, maana wanaona kwamba hii ODM inaelekea kumezwa. Kaka, usishangae tu ukati Magarini kwamba tuko na ODM, tulipata mbunge huko. ODM ndo mwisho wa kufa hivi. Sisi hatujaonyesha makali yetu mahali ipo. Relax. Hatubahatishi kwa sababu hata tungesimamisha mbunge Magarini, tena wizi ambao umetumika na njia ambazo zimetumika haswa ambazo tunazitazama Malava na Mbeere. Sasa hivi ndio kwa sisi ni miongoni mwa wale ambao wanalia. So hakutukubali tuharibu kisu chetu kukichinjia paka kwa alafu tuje tupewe kuku tushinde wakati 2027 inakuja. Tunangoja wakati wa kuku, ndugu yangu, ndo tuchinje kuku. By election kwa tunachinja paka tu ili tuangalie haswa mizani ya hawa wajanja na hiyo ODM ambayo mnadanganywa, wakati mwisho wa siku mtakuja kulia tu na mjutia, haswa mtamani nafasi kwa PLP. Ndugu yangu, mapema hama, njoo tukijenge chama kinachoamini kuunganisha Wakenya wote, chama kitakachohakikisha kwamba katiba hii itafuatwa kikamilifu, chama ambapo kiongozi wake hashawishiki na kunulika ovyo ovyo, kiongozi ambaye anapigana na ufisadi pamoja na masuala yote ya corruption. Ndugu yangu, njoo PLP. Mimi nitaachia pale kwa siku ya leo. Asante.
Asante. Hata mimi nilikuwa nimemaliza na ni vizuri kukuwa na ndoto baba, ndoto, kwa sababu wewe mwenyewe ukasema chama ikabakia jamii ya Wajaluo. Sasa mimi nikasema Wajaluo ni wengi Magarini, tena ukaruka swali, lakini ni sawa, hiyo ndio siasa. Sasa mimi kitu nawaambia, hata mkiamua kuungana na
sasa ukisema Wajaluo ni wengi, Wajaluo ni wengi Magarini, na maana Mijikenda na Wajaluo wanaofaa kuwa wengi ni akina nani?
Ngoja.
Tukisema tu katika unatoa Wajaluo ni wengi Magarini, sawa, lakini baina ya Wajaluo na Mijikenda ni nani wako wengi? Jamii ipi haswa iko kwao? Jamii gani ambayo haswa ni wasisi pale, si wageni? Jamii gani ambayo ilipokea kichama? So kama ni hivyo basi, na maana mtumia sisi Wagiriama ama sisi wa Mijikenda kwa ajili ya kwamba ni kama kanga wachongo kuuza chama, alafu sasa kibaki kwa kwenu. Ndugu yangu, acha nikwambie, katika hii kauli unayozungumza kwamba Magarini Wajaluo ni wengi ndio maana chama kilipita, hiyo ndoto ya mchana, kama ulivyosema, ni ndoto ya mchana. Wale watoto wa pale, wazaliwa wa pale, wananchi wa pale walimpenda kiongozi wao, hata kama alikuwa kwa ODM, waliangalia kiongozi wala hawakuangalia chama. So usijipige kifua kwamba Wajaluo ni wengi. Hata mkiwa wengi vipi, tena hamshindi wakazi wa Magarini, wazaliwa wa hapa. Asante na muwe na siku njema.
Mimi sijasema Wajaluo ni wengi, umesema chama imebakia Wajaluo, na Wajaluo wa Magarini wamekuwa wengi, ndio nikakwambia Wajaluo wa Magarini wamekuwa wengi. Chama cha ODM kifo chake kilianza kusemwa kitambo zaidi ya sana. Wale ambao hata Ruto aliimba ODM imekufa, ndio maana alitoka ODM. Musalia Mudavadi kasema ODM imekufa, ndio maana kalitoka ODM. Najibu Balala aliimba ODM imekufa, katoka ODM. So wewe pia endelea na kifo cha ODM na pati yenyu haiwezi shinda hata kama ni MCA. I will take my leave and I want to tell everybody, a good party must have democracy. You can't have a party with the same mentality. You must have a party where some people see things this way, see things that way. Even if you go to democracies like United States, not all Republicans are seeing things the same way Donald Trump is seeing things. It doesn't mean the Republican Party is dead. Yeah, it doesn't mean the Republican Party is dead. Even the other day, I think Trump was hiking taxes, and I see a lot of Republicans, include even the guy who was heading Dodge, who was support of Trump. They went against. It doesn't mean that the Republican Party is dead. So being that ODM party is talking in different language tells you that the party is on the right track. And even in those parties in the United States, you will get some people calling themselves liberals. Some people are calling themselves in those party conservatives. Some people are calling themselves socialists. There are people in those party who are saying they are this way, but they all belong to either Democrat or Republicans. So when ODM people, we have human right wing led by the Orengo side, it doesn't mean the party is dying. So if you bring your PLP, we'll only give you a wing in our party. If you want people who stand for democracy, we also have it. If you have people who are greedy for power and they want to join any kank they see around, we also have people like Wanga. They are just there. But because we are democratic party, we give chance to everybody. So I think the best and the reason why party forms are not formed to fight for regional human rights. They are formed to have the political power. That is the main reason. Unless that thing is just a society where it is a group of people, they want to talk about human rights, because in Kenya we are not only suffer, or we are not only behind because of human injustices. We fight for all other things equally. Thank you. I will also take my leave. Makubura, you can end and
Thank you, Mr. Eric, for finding time. Simamo, thank you. Good dear, thank you so much. I can see Bana, I can see Laban, I can see Dan, amongst others. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us tonight. We really appreciate. And just like Goodyear said, we can be democratic without being tribal. With the public should be one against the oppressors. Okay, thank you so much, Goodyear, and everyone for being here with us. This is Brother Benson Media, and here we say your opinion counts. Let's meet tomorrow. Bye. I want to take the opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you're watching. Thank you, and see you again tomorrow.